I've never been to school. All my life I lived in the projects, a place full of prostitutes and drugs. My mom's a hooker and does cocaine. I never met my father. He was one night stand for my mom. She's a very cold-hearted woman who doesn't love nobody but herself. My mom treats me like crap. I cry every single night wondering why my mom is the way she is and what made her life turn to the wrong road. And why do I care so much? Because she doesn't feed me. I tell her, Mom, I'm hungry. Can I have money for food? I haven't eaten in days. She laughs at me and tells me, baby, you're old enough. Go get some money on your own. She brings guys home and I see them have sex in front of me. Sometimes she brings guys home and has them rape me for a little bit of extra money. My depression grows more and more as the days go by. I start to not care about my life. I don't care if I shower or my mom gets really messed up with cocaine. I feel like a trapped dog in a cage in the middle of nowhere, cold and alone. One day a group of guys come home with my mom. Nobody knows that I'm her daughter. She dedicates me as another prostitute when guys come to the house. They offer my mom extra money if she had sex with me. I tried to run away. Just the thought of my mom touching me made me sick to my stomach. As I went to the door, the guys came after me and held me down. My heart was beating really fast and I froze. In my head, I'm thinking, how can you do this to me? What have I done to deserve this? I'm your child. Why don't you love me? My body gave up and my eyes were dry from all the crying. My heart was hurt. The terrible things my mom did for money. I grabbed my things and left. I now live in the park. I don't eat or sleep. As the day goes by, my heart becomes numb. I can't move my body, and the goals that once I had and wanted to accomplish were just dreams. I'm just a person living with no soul.
A week later, ambulances and police rushed to the park. Next day in the news, a homeless girl at the age of 13 named Nina Pesky committed suicide. Mother was nowhere to be found. Hello, I am here with Monica today. Monica is homeless and I am going to do a little videotape of the abandoned shack that she is staying in presently, and she's going to read a little bit about her life. Okay, Monica, go ahead.
Hi, my name is Monica. I'm 13 years old. I am a runaway. Well, I ran away from my house because my mom doesn't love me. She never did. She would always tell me that I'm worthless piece of shit and that I should have never been born. And also she would always tell me that I'm ugly and that nobody would ever like me. She used to hit me a lot, like if I didn't do things in the house, like wash dishes or cook, or if I do things wrong, or if the cooking would taste different. She would grab me by my hair and drag me into the little closet and lock me in there. I would go without food for days. I've been without food in her house just because she felt like it, or I would forget to do my chores. I don't know why she is like that with me. I never did anything to her to be like that and treat me like that. Well, I got tired of her. So one night while she was sleeping, I left her house. I took a couple of things with me because I never really had anything because she never got me stuff. I grabbed some crackers and sandwiches. My mom also would only spend money on drugs, so that would be why she would never buy me anything too. That night, I didn't know where to go, so I just slept under a bridge. It was so cold, my feet were frozen, but I just kept thinking to myself, it's better off from being at my house and getting abused. Well, a week passed by and I was so hungry because I didn't have anything left to eat. My clothes were so dirty and I smelled so much. I tried to get under the table job, but I'm too young and they didn't want me because I smelled so much and the way I looked. I've been only at the shelter once because they get flu easily. That night I stayed at the shelter. I felt so good because I wasn't cold like every other night. But after that night, they didn't have any more space, so I left and slept in the streets. It's been a month now, and I wonder when I'm going to have a good life and not have to worry about anything happening to me. I also sometimes wish I was dead because of all I'm going through, and also wish that my mom would come looking for me and we could be good and a happy normal family, but I guess not. Till then I'll be struggling till I die because I feel like I'm never going to have food or a home.
I started off just making $150,000 a year. That was before the economy crashed. I had a lovely wife and 3 children. And then it all just went downhill. I really don't know what happened. It's really hard to talk about because my wife left me once my job was gone.
How did you lose your job?
Well, when the economy crashed, our company went down under. And then from there was nothing.
How did you pay your bills?
I couldn't anymore. We had to sell the house. My children had to stop going to private school. It was horrible. So then my wife left me for some other guy who was making money. I took my children with her. Now I'm stuck out here.
Where have you been staying?
Well, I was in a shelter for a little bit, but then they ran out of room and I had to leave. Found this nice little community over here. It's warm, we can get some fires going. Get some fires going every once in a while. It's not raining and wet. Occasionally we can catch food, some fish maybe. If the line doesn't snap, it can be a bait. It's cold, it's getting really cold now. It was easy during the summer months. There are even some picnic areas around here where we could get some food. Maybe people threw out. But it's getting scarce now that it's winter almost. Getting really cold, nobody's coming out to swim anymore.
What's your plan for the winter?
Don't know. See what winter brings. Might have to find somewhere else to move. Somewhere where I can have shelter maybe. Right now we're just sleeping in tents and stuff. Not going to provide the support that we need. My name's Timothy, and I'm homeless.
Hi, today I'm here with Lucy. Lucy is 27 and she's homeless and expecting her 3rd child, and she's going to share her story with us.
It was never an easy childhood growing up. My mother died when she gave birth to me, and only a few years after, my father shot himself in front of me. I left and I had nowhere else to go. I turned to prostitution to try to afford what I could for money, so maybe I could eat something, but that didn't come easy. I got pregnant with twins. I have 2 3-year-old daughters. Now I'm expecting my 3rd. I don't know where else to turn. All the shelters around here are full. Is there any hope? Can somebody help me?
Red.
I come to America and I always think good life, good money, I never think be like this. Now, I eat cookie. I find in garbage. Everybody say America. Oh, America. Money, power. I don't see it. I come here. Nobody helped me. Instead, they put me in the hotel, and guys, they come and they rape me. I have nobody. Nobody. This is America.
Hi ladies and gentlemen. Today we are at an abandoned cabin. This is where Anna Gardner, a young woman, sleeps at night. Listen to her story and how she got here. Hi, Miss Anna Gardner. I know this is difficult for you to talk about where you've been and how you got here, but if you don't mind sharing with us your experience, what happened?
Growing up in a house full of violence, my dad and my mother would be abused by my father. I was age 11 and he left 2 years later. Me and my mother, we were on our own and we had no money. He took everything that we had. She did her best to find a job, but she finally found a job at a local liquor store, but it only paid her very little. We were able to find a very small apartment. Brown stains covered the walls, and there were 2 mattresses. No sink, nothing, no food. We had absolutely nothing but each other. My mother was very depressed after my father left. She began stealing alcohol from where she worked, and she would come home, crack open a bottle and drink it until it was bone dry. Then she would start on another one. A year later, she turned to something else, heroin. She would take every single penny that she made at work, and she would spend it on heroin. She would come home every night and shoot up, and I would find her laying on the floor with the needle still in her hand. One day, I came home. The door was cracked, but I walked in anyway, and I saw my mother lying on the floor. I didn't really think anything of it, because I'm so used to seeing it. But then I saw a ball of paper in her hand. It was a suicide note. I was heartbroken, and I had nobody else. I was alone. I was very young, and I couldn't find a job anywhere. Nobody would take me. I would look in garbage cans for food and anything that I could find. But then I realized that I had to make money somehow. So I turned to where my mother got her drugs, and that was with a man that didn't really give me any money. He didn't really help me, but I made as much money as I could. I still wasn't able to afford any housing or any food, but when I started selling drugs for him, I became curious about heroin. The first time I tried it, I got hooked. Now, I'm a heroin addict just like my mother. I don't know where I'll end up, but I'm homeless and I need help.
I'm Angela,
I'm Alex.
and we're homeless. We never knew our father, and our mother died of cancer. We have no place to go. We don't want to be split up, so I just have to prostitute myself so that I can feed my younger brother.
It's getting cold out, and I'm really afraid of what's going to happen to us. We can't go to DCF and let them find out that we don't have any parents, because they'll split us up. We tried to go to a shelter, but they won't let us stay because we don't have any adult figure in our life. So we stay here at the cabin where our parents used to bring us. Well, my mom and her husband. I don't know what else to say, Rob.
What are you guys going to do when it starts to get really cold?
I don't know what we're going to do when it starts to get really cold. All we have is the clothes on our back. We can't go shopping because we don't have any money.
Where do you get food?
Anywhere we can find it, really. Garbage cans.
Where, Alex?
We steal.
Have you ever been caught for stealing?
Yeah.
What happened when you got caught?
We got thrown out of the house and beaten.
How old are you?
14.
16. And we're homeless.
Hi, my name is Lori, and I have 4 children. I've been without my kids for almost 3 years now. And when I was pregnant for my last child, I found out that I was HIV positive. And it was really difficult because the father of my children is the one who infected me. He passed away around 3 years ago. After he died, we couldn't pay the bills. And it was awful. I didn't know what to do. I was staying at shelters with my kids, and my parents stepped in and they took custody of my kids, but they wouldn't let me stay with them. I don't know why. I never did anything to ask for HIV. I think they were afraid of the disease. And now I have no place to stay. And I've been kind of staying outside, and I go to where the other homeless people are, but I feel like I don't fit in with them. And when I go to a shelter, they always want to know, like, your background. And I'm afraid to tell people that I have HIV because I think they'll judge me. So right now I'm staying at this park. Not many people come here. And as long as I keep to myself, it seems to be okay, but it's getting really cold. And I don't know what I'm going to do when it starts to snow. I need help. I need somebody to help me, but I just don't know where to go.